Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It's another great day to discuss other people's excellence. I'm the unforgettable one himself, Mr. Brett Carroll, and I'm just the guy that likes BSing at work. All right, the combine is here and gone. We got another great week of combine action, and let's do a quick mock draft before free agency starts. What do you say? Before we get started, here's some notes. I didn't make a presentation because I don't know if you saw last time, but that got all messed up, and I don't want to mess around and screw that up again because that was a horrific experience. But just a quick recap. I'll try to go as fast as I can. One, a couple guys that to me really stood out. Nolan Smith, right? It's giving Trayvon Walker vibes all over again. Another defensive end from Georgia or edge rusher from Georgia that had a phenomenal combine that might be pushing up the ranks. Now, I don't think he's going to do what Trayvon Walker did, which is come out of nowhere and be the number one pick in the draft and the number one edge rusher. I think that still belongs to Will Anderson. However, can he be edge rusher two now? Maybe. I can see that. I can see him being edge rusher two over guys like Miles Murphy and Tyree Wilson and other guys like that. He had a phenomenal day. And you know these Georgia Bulldogs are a hot commodity in the NFL right now. So it's possible. Maybe not. Maybe he solidified himself as at least a top five edge rusher in the class or a top three, maybe. But it's possible. As of right now, do not be surprised if he goes in the top 10. Speaking of another guy that I no longer can have outside the top 10 is Anthony Richardson. As you know, I've been struggling with how I want to proceed with Anthony Richardson. To me, he's such a raw product that I can't justify taking him that early. That's just me. But he showed his ridiculous potential. He showed it. He showed it. Athletically, he is on another level. He is just gifted. He is a gifted athlete at the quarterback position. And to his credit, I think what's even more impressive is he looks like he's worked on some of his mechanics. He looks like he's worked on some of the things that he needs to work on. So even on the throwing drills, he looked good. Now, again, it's throwing drills, they're in shorts, no defense. I get all that, but you got to give credit where credit is due. Other guys didn't look great. Other guys that had accuracy concerns and stuff like that, they didn't show anything that proved that wrong. You know what I mean? Anthony Richardson did. So if it's now just a part of reading defenses and stuff like that, that takes him from a potential 2-year project to a 1-year project. And I think that's a big deal, especially since his potential is so great. Like Trey Lance, to me, never made sense because Trey Lance was, to me, a 2-year project. And I thought his potential was great, but not fantastic. I ain't gonna lie to you. With Anthony Richardson's size and everything that he brings to the table, his potential is unknown. You know what I mean? His potential um is that crazy. So I don't think I could have him go past the Panthers at 9 at this point. I just don't. I don't think that he's a guy from now on. Basically, I'm gonna have to have a spot for him um in the top 10. We gotta figure that out. So anything else that we need to take note of? Jordan Addison didn't have a great combine. So for if you thought I wasn't gonna pick him at 17 before, you definitely you could bet your sweet ass I ain't picking him at 17 now. Though that conversation I hopefully is dead and gone. Um, but it might open up the possibility of him being there at 32. If he drops to 32 and the Steelers take him at 32, I can't hate it. I'm not gonna like it, but I can't hate it. I get it. But that seems like a more realistic possibility now than it did before the combine. Um, Andrew Voorhees got hurt. That's very unfortunate. He's a guy that I usually take in the second round for some teams. He's probably going to drop to the end of the draft, which really, really stinks for him. You hate to see it. I'm trying to think of anybody else off the top of my head that we got to really consider. No, not really. I feel like for the most part, the people who stocks up, basically almost just solidify where they already were, and people who are stocked down really kind of just went down just a little bit. I mean, even Jordan Addison, I don't think he's a surefire player that's going to drop out of the first round now. You know what I mean? But I definitely don't think he's a guy that's going in the top 20. Yeah, so if he was a mid first rounder before, now he's like a late rounder, early second rounder. You know what I mean? So I don't think anybody's stock dropped exponentially. I don't think anybody's stock moved up exponentially, except for the Nolan Smiths of the world, the Anthony Richardsons of the world. I think Will Levis, solidified himself as QB4. That's big. CJ Stroud might have put himself back in the QB1 conversation. That's big. So yeah, that's so let's we'll play around. We'll see how we want to do this, but those are kind of just some of my thoughts going into this. And all right, as you know, I believe the Chicago Bears should trade down, and therefore I'm going to have them trade down. And I like that Raiders one. I'm going to do it again just for shits and giggles. Um, they're probably going to have to give up a round one next year as well. So they're getting the second round pick this year. And the second and third this year and the first and third next year, right? I feel like that's fair compensation. Well, you know what? No, he said I think the GM said today that he knows he could get two number ones. So you know what? We're gonna give him 38. Oh, how did that go down? That's interesting. 38, and we'll give him a round one and two first. Let's do that. Oh, it's going left. Huh? Why are they going left? Whatever. I'm just gonna force this trade just to. Oh, what just happened? What's going on? Why is that doing it? There we go. Okay. Force the trade. There we go. And now, number one, again, I think Bryce Young makes the most sense for their system. And so therefore I will do that. Last time I flirted with the idea of the Texans not taking a quarterback. Like I said, I'm not going to do that every time. I'm just going to maybe flip flop. One time they'll take a quarterback, the next time they won't. So therefore, I'm going to go ahead and take CJ Stroud. Now the Cardinals. Do the Cardinals want to trade back here? Do the Cardinals want to trade back here? If you're the Panthers, do you want to trade back here? Um, I'm going to just have them take Jalen Carter here for now. I'm going to have them take Jalen Carter. And I'm going to have now the Colts, to be very honest with you, I don't think they want Anthony Richardson or Will Levis, but I think they're going to have to just take Will Levis here. That means Seattle gets Will Anderson Jr. And again, I kind of like the idea. Let's play around with the idea for now. Let's just call this an overreaction combine mock, right? Because you have that. Let's have Nolan Smith be the next guy. Well, I kind of like that idea. And now if you are the Bears, you have a lot of options here. Um, I think going offensive line makes the most sense, in my opinion. I took Paris Johnson last time. Just to switch it up, I'll go Northwestern, Chicago school, going to Chicago. And here's where I'm going to actually make a trade. Here's where I'm going to actually make a trade. And this is why if you're the Panthers going forward, you're gonna have to trade up if you want a quarterback. Um, I just want to have fun real quick. Just real quick. I want to have fun with this. They're gonna get 8. But they're gonna get Lamar Jackson, and they're gonna get they're gonna get 3 first. Let's throw in 125 here. So the Baltimore Ravens are giving the Atlanta Falcons for 2 firsts and 2 seconds and a third. Right? I think that's what Deshaun Watson basically got. I know Deshaun Watson was 3 firsts and 2 of them were second round picks or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, they'll get a pick this year. And in exchange, they'll get 844, a first and second next year, and a first in 2025. I'm gonna force this trade. And with the 8th pick in the draft, they're gonna take Anthony Richardson because he's a guy that can run their system now. He's probably the one team that they could probably put in day one, right? They could use him the same way they use Lamar. Run heavy offense with him as the lead rusher, and they'll scheme up some easy pass plays for him to be able to just make easy reads downfield. Um, and yeah, I like that idea. I like that idea a lot. So now, if you are the Panthers, you missed out on your quarterback this time. Next time, I definitely got to have y'all trade up because this is bad. But you have some really good options here now. You could take Devin Witherspoon. You could take Christian Gonzalez. You could take Tyree Wilson. You could take Quentin Johnson. A lot of options. If you're not gonna get your quarterback, obviously, and so you have an obligation here to work on this defense, which you desperately need to work on. I'm gonna go. They're running a 3-4 now, right? Six six two six. I'm trying to think if he can play outside linebacker in a 3-4. I know his versatility is he could play either a defensive line, a D end, or inside, which probably tells me he can't be a stand up outside linebacker. Mm, so with that being said, I'm going to take Christian Gonzalez, and I'm going to take Devin Witherspoon for the Eagles. I just think that makes sense. Um, if you are the Titans, what do you want to do here? If you are the Titans, Quentin Johnson is a good idea. Broderick Jones is a good idea. Tyree Wilson's a very good idea. I think the offense is way more of a need, if I'm being honest. I'm going to go Broderick Jones. And I'm actually going to go Jackson Smith and Jigba here For the Texans, if we're gonna go off it, they got CJ Stroud, correct? Yeah, he might want his guy, and that's Jackson Smith and Jigba. Okay. Now, if you are the Jets in this situation, I think you have to go tackle because two tackles are already off the board. So you want to hurry up and get your tackle in Paris Johnson. And then if you are the Patriots, oh man, this is hard because Quentin Johnson here makes a lot of sense. But Tyree Wilson still being on the board. I'll put it to you this way: Tyree Wilson is going in the next two picks. It's just a matter of do I want him on the Patriots or the Packers? If I'm being biased, I'd rather have him on the Packers. But let's see. I'm gonna go Quentin Johnson. Give your quarterback a receiver, and then Tyree Wilson will go here to the Packers. I really like the idea of Osiris Torrance going here, only because, again, I'm going to be very very honest with you. Uh I want to see Bieniemy succeed, and they want to run the football, which means you need some inside line help, and therefore we're going to go with Osiris Torrance. Okay. Now, if you're the Steelers, unfortunately, you kind of, as much as I would love to get Joey Porter here, a lot of tackles came off the board already. Um, you almost have to go tackle here, don't you? The two guys they're looking at, Dwan Jones and Darnell Wright, both still on the board, but you still have a lot of picks before you go again. Not a lot of picks, but you know what I mean. You have a decent number of picks where they can both go. Let's see. The Chargers could use a tackle. The Bengals could use a tackle. Mm. You know what? I'm gonna go tackle just because I always do Joey Porter Jr. And just to be nice, I'll switch it up and I won't go Joey Porter Jr. So I'll go Anton Harrison here. Um, the Lions. Who did I have them take? Nolan Smith. So this is where Joey Porter Jr. will go off the board. Sorry, my boy. Not this time. Not this time. For the Buccaneers are just so hard because I don't know what the hell they're just a mess right now. Um, there's not another inside lineman that I think makes sense this early. No, poor Andrew Voorhees got hurt, so no. They could kind of just play best player available here, I guess. I guess that might be Kalijah Kancey. He had himself a day. Yeah, let's try that. Let's go with that. I believe they got Will Anderson at 5, so that's great for them. So now let's go Brian Brzee. I like that for them. If you are the Chargers, let's see. Jackson Smith and Jig was already off the team, already off the board. So was Quentin Johnson. Do you take Jordan Addison, who kind of didn't have a great day? Do you take a guy like Dalton Kincaid or Michael Mayer? I like that idea. I like that idea. Um, I like Zay Flowers. I'm gonna go Zay Flowers here. I'm gonna go Zay Flowers. Now the Ravens in this hypothetical situation, I had them trade Lamar Jackson because it looks like they're about to put the tag on him, which means a trade probably is going to happen. That's why I did it. Anthony Richardson makes a lot of sense. If there's anybody who knows how to utilize his skill set, it'll be the Ravens. So that's what they did at 8. So at 9, I guess you got to get him some more receivers, correct? Unless you're going to go full on. Unless you're going to go full on run the ball first mode. But they have J.K. Dobbins already, though. They have running backs. I don't think they'll take a running back this early. So I guess the only other guy to go with is Jordan Addison. Mm. And now, if you are I'm going corner every time because they need a corner. Let's go Deontay Banks here. If you are the Jaguars, I like Brian Branch here. Who else on the board? Hold on. I like Dalton Kincaid here as well. Mm, I like Dalton Kincaid here as well. Yeah, I'm gonna go with that. Well, no, they said it sounds like they're gonna just franchise Evan Ingram. You know what I'm gonna do? Let's make a trade. Why not? Why not? Before I do that, yes. Uh, Straight up. They technically don't need it, but they got a bunch of picks. They could do it. The Giants. Ideally, you would want a wide receiver here. I just don't think there's a wide receiver good enough to come here. So I'm gonna go ahead and get a guy that I really wanted. Why do they have Trenton Simpson ranked so low? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Trenton Simpson. That I did this last time. I really like this pick, and I'm gonna do it again. And that's Drew Sanders going to the Cowboys. And again, as a Steeler fan, I'm really hurt because I was hoping one of these two guys fell to the second round and they're both gone. So that hurts a lot. uh if you are the Bills, Brian Branch getting drafted really hurt. So do you want to trade back? No? Actually, no. I really like Bijan Robinson to the Bills. I love that pick a lot, actually. If you are, you kind of have to take a tackle at this point. The Saints, breaking news as of a couple of minutes ago. It looks like um Derek Carr will be signing to the Saints. So now that that's out the way, they can go ahead and get other positions. Oops, sorry. And I like Mozzie Smith here, so let's do that. The Eagles, I believe they went corner at 10, correct? Yes. Oh shoot. Sorry. The Eagles went corner. Again, I don't like receivers here. They can kind of go wherever they want. And you know what? I'm gonna have them go Jahmyr Gibbs here. Because why not? And then the Chiefs. What do I want the Chiefs to do? The Chiefs can use some edge and Lucas. How the hell do the Chiefs always have somebody just fall to them? How does that happen every freaking time? Like, why is that a thing? Okay, you went corner, all your linebackers are gone. You might have to go linebacker here. There's a lot of corners still on the board. Let me see who's still on the board corner wise. Well. Why are we frozen? Don't freeze on me. Ah, we're frozen. Come on. No, there we go. Okay. Yeah, there's a decent amount of corners here. So I think we have to go linebacker in this situation since all the linebackers, all the ones I really want are gone. I'm hearing really good things. I've never seen him, but from what I'm hearing, he's a really good coverage linebacker, which is what we really need, which is what we really want. Let's just see something real quick. Come on, internet. Come on, internet. Come on. Come on. There we go. Thank you. Oh, well, that's not good. If he's not good in zone coverage, then we can't really take him now, can we? Um, so maybe Jack Campbell makes more sense of what we want then. Run defender. All right, maybe we just take a corner. I'm not liking any of the linebackers here. I really do like Emmanuel Forbes. I think he can fit our system well. I know he's a lot lighter than people want him to be. And when you're in the same division as a guy like T. Higgins, that might be a problem. I like Cam Smith personally. I like Cam Smith a lot. And we led the league in interceptions last year, so we don't necessarily need a ball hawking corner. We need more of like a guy that could just stay in front of his man and be physical, which is what Cam Smith is. So I'm going to take Cam Smith here. Okay. We got our quarterback, we got a receiver. Now I guess we can start looking on defense. Miles Murphy is here, so we are going to take Miles Murphy and not think twice about it. They went Jalen Carter. Is there more edge rushers here? Of course, there's more edge rushers here. There's always more edge rushers here, but they could also use a corner. And I think this is where I'll take Emmanuel Forbes. The Colts, they got their quarterback. Now they need everything on the offensive line. Darnell Wright makes sense here. The Rams could also need offensive line help. So I'm gonna have them take Matthew Bergeron. I don't know what's going on with that. They traded down, so they haven't gone anything yet. I'm gonna have them take Luke Whippler. I don't know what's going on with that. Chicago. What have we done with Chicago? I didn't have them trade up. I was going to have them trade up, but I didn't. Okay, so the only thing we have so far is our tackle. We need some wide receiver help. We have both tight ends on the board. I do like the idea of giving him just a big, strong tight end. We went Christian Gonzalez in the first round. Dalton Kincaid is here. That is a big need of ours. I'm gonna go with Dalton Kincaid. The Saints, they have Derek Carr, and now they have their defensive tackle in Mozzie Smith. They could also use a corner. Eli Ricks sounds good for them. The Titans, they went offensive line, I'm pretty sure. And now I'm gonna the Josh Downs makes sense. I think I did this for them last time, but it's okay. The Browns. I'm gonna have them go Antonio Johnson here. Sidney Brown flew up boards too. I gotta remember that. The Jets. Would they go Tanner McKee here? Well, it looks like they're all in on Aaron Rodgers, so these picks might not even be here. But for right now, we'll use them. With that being said, who else is still on the board here? I think Hanley makes sense for their own defense. The Ravens, I think I had them have Jordan Addison, correct? Yeah. They have Jordan Addison and they have Anthony Richardson. And so now they can go edge with Will McDonald. And the Packers, pretty sure I had them take Tyree Wilson. Correct? Yeah. Yeah. So now there's no receivers left for them to take. honestly think they're good on receiver. I think they would rather just get a tight end. Luke Musgrave is still on the board, so let's do it. Boom, 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 boom. They need a tackle. Because I did not go tackle in the first round. Blake Freeland had a pretty good combine, so we'll go Blake Freeland. Washington, I had them take Osiris Torrance the first time. I really like the idea of them going double inside. The Lions, they have Nolan Smith, I believe. No, they have who do they have? They have Joey Porter Jr. I know that. Oh, it was Nolan Smith. Yes. Sorry, Nolan Smith. Okay. So Nolan Smith, Joey Porter Jr. They can use a linebacker now. I'm kind of running out of linebackers here from my Steelers. We might have to go Cam Jones in the third or fourth round. We might have to go Cam Jones in the first. Yeah, we're gonna have to. So we got our tackle, we got our line, we got our corner. Linebackers, I don't like any other linebacker at this range. Now we could use some more edge help. We could use some defensive. Let me see who's on the defensive interior in this range. Keanu Benton, I like. Matter of fact, I think I will go Keanu Benton in this range right here. By the way, that's another reason why I don't like to go tackle at 17, but that's okay. uh what did I have them do, Lord? I never remember what I do for the Buccaneers. Oh, Kalijah Kancey. Oh, interesting. Yeah, I'm just gonna have them take best available. That might be Tanner McKee, honestly. That might be Tanner McKee, honestly. Okay. The Seahawks, at this point, they always just can just do whatever their heart desires at this point. That's what they can do because they're good. That's what they can do because they are good. I had them do what? They traded up, correct? They got Brian Brzee, and then they traded up for Brian Branch. Oh God, the Seahawks. They're so now let's go ahead and get them some interior line help. There you go. Because they can. They got it. Let's see what corners are still on the board for the Dolphins. Oh, perfect. Uh I had them trade back, didn't I? Oh no, Zay Flowers. Zay Flowers. Nice. Very nice. They can also use, so let's see what tackles are still on the board. Don't like it. Let me see. Yeah, don't like it. Don't like it at all. They can get, I'm just going to have them take a corner. Oh, yeah, Keely Ringo's still on the board. Let's see who's in what wide receivers are in their division. They got to deal with Devontae Adams. Yeah, let's go. Yeah, let's just do that. The Bears are back on the clock, and I don't think I got them a receiver yet. So I'm going to get them a receiver. And that receiver is going to be Jalen Hyatt. The Lions are back on the clock. The Lions have had themselves they got Jack Campbell. Yeah, the Lions are gonna feast in this draft. Joey Porter and Nolan Smith. The Lions are going to feast on this draft. Okay. The Lions are going to feast in this draft. They can also go best player available. Let's see if we can get them even more corner help or defensive back help at least. Who's still here? Oh, Sidney Brown is still on the board. Yeah, he's not going to drop this far. I'm going to take Sidney Brown here. The Jaguars. I had them trade back, and then they took who? Luke Whippler. So now I'm going to have them take Steve Villa. The Giants went linebacker in the first round. Um, they need a receiver bad. The question is who? Nathaniel Dell to me just isn't. Yeah, he's 5'10", 165. They kind of already have those type of guys. Mm. Is there a tight end still on the board that they could use? Sam Laporte. Oh, yeah, and Darnell Washington. Ooh, Darnell Washington in New York. I kind of like that, actually. I kind of like that, actually. The the Cowboys. The Cowboys. They took a linebacker already. They also could use wide receiver. Rashee Rice fits more of their style, so I'm going to take Rashee Rice. I have them go Bijan in the first round, if I remember correctly. Mm, value's just not there right now. Voorhees would have been perfect, but he got hurt. I'm going to have him take Jordan Battle. If I remember correctly, I had you guys take a tackle. I did. Now in this mock, I don't think. Oh no, they still have Sam Laporta. Jesus. What? Oh my God. Still have plenty of corners on the board. Oh my goodness. There's still plenty of corners on the board. This is such a good corner draft. Like, that's insane. Excuse me. I'm not a Saki Ika fan. He had a decent combine, actually, I think, if I remember correctly. Yeah, and I think they're gonna try to win in the trenches. That's where they're lacking. So yeah, let's do that. Okay, the Panthers. They got Christian Gonzalez, and then they got Dalton Kincaid. And BJ Ojolari is still on the board. What's his role? There we go. 3-4 outside linebacker. Here it is. BJ Ojolari. So you didn't get your quarterback, but you had a pretty good draft. Christian Gonzalez, BJ Ojolari, two guys I think could go in the first round. And then Dalton Kincaid, another guy. You got three guys I think could go in the first round. You got them all on your team. So even though you didn't get your quarterback here, you're still pretty good. Um, then the Eagles. The Eagles, y'all. The Eagles, y'all. I had them take Jahmyr Gibbs already. Okay. Now if they want a wide receiver, they can take one because they could just do whatever they want to do. If they want to put him in the slot, they can do that. And then once again, that daggone Kansas City Chiefs could do whatever they want. They got Lucas Van Ness in the first round. Would they screw the league over and go Sam Laporta here? I think they could, and I think they will. Wow, nasty. That's nasty work. That is nasty work. Yikes. That is nasty, nasty work. Okay, so let's just go over it. So yeah, I have the Raiders train up to get Bryce Young. I have this time I have the Texans taking CJ Stroud, Jalen Carter going to the Cardinals. Um Yeah, there's gonna be a mock where I gotta have somebody move up to 3 and screw the Colts, just so I can say this is why you trade up if you're the Colts. Because again, 4-1 makes the most sense in the world. But I've done that already. I don't want to keep doing it, but we'll see. Will Anderson drops to 5. Nolan Smith, I had just for shits and giggles, moving up. I had the Ravens trading Lamar Jackson to Atlanta and basically getting his exact replacement, which does screw over my Panthers, which sucks. But they did get Christian Gonzalez, Witherspoon, Broward Jones, Jackson Smith and Jigba, Paris Johnson, Quentin Johnson, Tyree Wilson, Osiris Torrance. I went tackle this time. I didn't go corner. I didn't go Joey Porter. So I switched it up for you, for the fans. But in reality, if he's there at 17, we're taking him. He went at 18, Kalijah Canty, Brian Barisi, Zay Flower, Jordan Addison, Deontay Banks, Brian Branch, Trenton Simpson, Drew Sanders, Bijan. I just like that pick for the Buffalo Bills. I think I did this last time as well, but this makes sense for them to get some more offensive line help. Maji Smith, now that they're about to get Derek Carr, their next order of business is to get their defense right. I like this luxury pick for the Eagles. Everything's a luxury pick for the Chiefs, and they could just let the board fall to them. And oh wow, I have them taking 2 Iowa guys. Interesting. I didn't see that. I didn't even notice that. Cam Smith going to the Steelers. Miles Murphy going to. I mean, that would be a steal if they get him at 33. Forbes, who I really like, going at 34. Donald Wright going to 35. So we had a run on offensive lineman here. Um, Then we had a little bit of a run. I think I did this last time where I had the top two tight ends go off the board back to back. But I think that is how it's going to go. I really do think that it's a really good tight end class. This is a phenomenal tight end class. But I think there are two guys that kind of separate themselves from everybody else. So I do feel like once the first one goes, then the second one will follow. So I guess that's where that train of thought there. Eli Ricks, Josh Downs, Antonio Johnson, Henley, Will McDonald, Luke Musgrave, Blake Freeland, uh, Jack Campbell, Keanu Benton. I like what the Steelers did here. They got their tackle, they got their linebacker. Oh no, they didn't get a linebacker yet, but we can get one in the fourth. Um, Tanner McKee makes sense. The Seahawks always have a great draft because they don't need anything. They're just and they got 20 million picks, so it doesn't matter. Tyreek Stevenson, THT, Jalen Hyatt falling to 54 for the Bears. That's a steal. Sidney Brown is a steal. Donald Washington to me is a steal. And then yeah, Jordan Battle, Moro Ajomo, BJ Ojolari, Nathaniel Dell, and Samuel Porter to round it out. All right. You can find me at Never Forget Me. That's NEVA underscore the number 4 BRETT underscore ME on Instagram and Twitter. We are the underscore dope blog on Instagram. We're the dope blog, all one word on Twitter. Free agency starts next week. So what we'll probably do is we'll probably skip a week or two to see how the first wave of free agency settles, how that dust settles, because that will answer a lot of questions, right? A lot of these teams are going to address some needs in the offseason. So that will change some things in terms of what we see. So yeah, join us next time as we continue to discuss other people's excellence. Please like, share, and subscribe. All right, guys. Love you. Peace.